Hey warriors, take a look around. The world we live in has crafted a new form of slavery. Not chains or bars, but mental chains. Minds trapped in endless scrolling, jumping from thought to thought, never able to focus for even 5 minutes without craving another hit of stimulation. Energy scattered, attention splintered, thoughts hijacked by the noise of everyone else's opinions. You can see it in the eyes, a haze, a quiet chaos, a dullness. They aren't thinking, they're reacting. And this, my friend, is how power slips away. Your mind isn't weak because you're lazy. It's weak because it's cluttered, stuffed with distractions, gossip, notifications, and the endless opinions of others. You're not exhausted. You're overloaded. You're not unmotivated. You're unfocused. And while you drift in that fog, your potential quietly leaks away. Centuries ago, Machiavelli noticed this. He understood that the most dangerous person isn't the strongest or the wealthiest. It's the one who thinks clearly. He said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." The line between brilliance and mediocrity is clarity, the ability to slice through the noise and see what truly matters. Picture a blade. A dull blade bends, cracks, and fails when it meets resistance. A sharp blade cuts with precision, power, and grace. Your mind is that blade. Every distraction dulls it. Every act of focus sharpens it. The question is, how sharp will you make it? Today, you're not just going to learn to think better. You're going to learn to think differently. How to harness dark psychology, harden your focus, eliminate mental weakness, and rise above the ordinary chaos of this world. By the end of this journey, you won't just understand focus, you'll become focus itself. Calm, cold, deliberate. Because when your mind is mastered, no one can manipulate, distract, or confuse you. You'll see through illusions, predict moves before they happen. Become a silent strategist in a world addicted to noise. Now drop this in the comments. My mind is my weapon. Focus is not motivation. Focus is control. Pure, unshakable control. Ordinary minds drift from one impulse to another, chasing stimulation they don't even understand. Their attention is fragile, fragmented, and easily manipulated. A disciplined mind moves with intention. Every second of focus declares dominance over confusion. The sharper your focus, the stronger your mind. Machiavelli said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." Thoughts are the same. Weak minds serve distraction. Strong minds command attention like a ruler over chaos. Distraction doesn't destroy people overnight. It erodes them slowly, moment by moment, until deep thinking becomes impossible. Most confuse being busy with being effective, rushing through life, collecting half-formed thoughts, mistaking motion for progress. Real power comes from stillness, from directing energy to one purpose while the world chases noise. Focus isn't doing more, it's doing what matters and cutting everything else without hesitation. Scattered thoughts drain power. Controlled thoughts build it. Those who master focus ignore trivial opinions and fleeting emotions. They operate from silence, not noise. When others panic, they stay composed. When others talk endlessly, they observe. That calm isn't weakness, it's intelligence in motion. Machiavelli wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. For everyone can see, but few can feel. A person who moves with quiet certainty doesn't need to prove anything." Power is visible in their focus. Focus grows through subtraction, not addition. Each distraction removed sharpens the mind. Silence exposes everything hidden under noise, but clarity is born there, along with precision, patience, and control. Most minds are like open windows. Everything enters. But the mind that closes its doors to nonsense becomes unshakable. Focused attention transforms perception. Decisions become faster, cleaner. Emotions lose power over you. Attention moves only when chosen. This is deliberate awareness. Rare, magnetic, respected even when unseen. In a world addicted to reaction, calm concentration feels like authority. Machiavelli understood. Clarity creates command. A mind that knows what it wants doesn't compete. It directs. Focused awareness shapes reality, influences others, and builds silent respect. Invisible control doesn't shout. It shifts everything around it. So a clear mind isn't loud. It's always felt. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Calm is control. Before you add, subtract. The modern mind worships accumulation. More knowledge, more content, more tasks, more goals. Thinking quantity creates wisdom. But mental sharpness grows through elimination, not addition. Clarity comes not from what you gain, but from what you remove. Machiavelli said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." Fools pile complexity upon complexity until their minds collapse. The wise clear the unnecessary, revealing truth beneath. Most confusion is self-inflicted. Minds fill with noise disguised as knowledge. Opinions, gossip, trends, useless advice, endless notifications, emotional residue from others. Every piece steals energy. The sharper thinker knows. Every distraction tolerated is a surrender. Subtractive thinking is ruthless. Cut before creating, clear before building. Remove false ideas, detach from meaningless influence, strip away everything that doesn't matter until only what matters remains. It's uncomfortable. The mind fears emptiness, yet emptiness breeds insight. Imagine a blade buried in dust. Every fragment of noise dulls it. Only by clearing away what doesn't belong does it regain sharpness. This is why powerful thinkers value solitude. Not loneliness, but mental cleaning. Illusions fade. What remains is raw thought, strong, direct, unfiltered. Subtractive thinking isn't passive. It questions everything until clarity emerges. Most cannot do this because it forces confrontation with their own clutter. Machiavelli observed truth hides beneath layers of self-deception. Start by recognizing and rejecting useless conversations, emotional attachments, and meaningless comparisons. Society glorifies addition because it feels productive, but real progress comes from stripping away the unnecessary. Subtractive thinking is like clearing fog from a mirror. Suddenly everything becomes visible. Decisions move with precision. Time isn't wasted. Those who master this speak less but say more. They act selectively. Restraint is mistaken for coldness, but it is clarity. Machiavelli called it control, knowing when not to act, speak, or react. When the mind sheds clutter, external chaos loses power. Subtractive thinking transforms intelligence into precision. Fewer distractions make perception sharper. It's disciplined simplicity, concentrated awareness. Those who practice it move through life with quiet efficiency. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Less is clarity. Every form of external power begins with inner mastery. If you cannot command your mind, you become a puppet of emotion, impulse, and circumstance. The illusion of balance tricks people into thinking they can divide attention between comfort and control. But comfort weakens dominance. True strength comes from disciplining your thoughts, even when emotions scream for chaos. Machiavelli wrote, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him." The same applies inward. Your thoughts are your inner advisors. Weak thoughts create a weak ruler. Mental control forms the foundation of personal authority. Without it, every external victory collapses. Modern life pulls minds in every direction. Fear sways decisions. Anger clouds judgment. Anxiety steals presence. Most people think they are acting. They are merely reacting. The one who observes their mind from a distance instead of drowning in its waves begins to see patterns invisible to others. Separation between thought and self creates dominance. Emotions arise but no longer dictate movement. Power lies in the ability to pause. In that pause, clarity speaks louder than impulse. A mind enslaved to emotion serves. A mind that commands emotion rules. Chaos often masquerades as opportunity. Machiavelli warned, "Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times." A controlled mind adapts without losing its core. Under pressure, it recalibrates, not panics. When challenged, it strategizes, not collapses. Every feeling becomes data, not disorder. Those who master mental control act after thought, not before it. Calmness under tension is trained, forged through repeated restraint. The ability to remain unmoved while the world shakes is the hallmark of true control. Mastery of the mind requires governing attention, emotion, and time. Attention decides what you see. Emotion decides how you feel. Time decides when to act. Lose control over any and weakness follows. The disciplined mind builds habits and habits form structure. Self-observation breeds predictability. Predictability breeds strength. A mind shaped by discipline obeys itself naturally. With control comes perception. Wild thoughts no longer scatter your awareness. Human behavior patterns become clear. Manipulation is exposed. Emotional traps lose effect. Authority grows quietly. The less visible control is, the more powerful it becomes. Composure hides influence while silently directing outcomes. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Control creates power. Precision thinking separates mere activity from real impact. Ordinary people scatter energy in countless directions, producing fragments of results and calling it progress. The sharp mind identifies one clear objective and channels every ounce of focus into it until reality bends to its will. Machiavelli said, "It is better to act and repent than not to act and regret." Precision isn't hesitation, it's calculated action, executed with foresight, not emotion. Every great strategist knows one decisive move outweighs 1,000 reckless ones. A mind without precision is like a blunt blade, full of potential but incapable of cutting resistance. Precision begins with observation. Spot patterns hidden in chaos. Notice details others miss. Connect events before they unfold. Loose thinkers leave outcomes to luck. Precise thinkers create them. Machiavellian strategy teaches that control comes not through force but understanding. Dissect motives, anticipate moves, measure timing, and you no longer compete. You dominate silently. Precision means economy. Say less, move less, act less, but do each action flawlessly. Average minds chase motion. Superior minds chase results. The precise thinker moves like a surgeon. One clean incision, no wasted effort. Timing matters. The impatient miss opportunity. The precise create it. Adaptation without loss of purpose defines mastery. Precision requires detachment from emotion. Personal feelings cloud judgment. Calm observers see what others overlook. This detachment is not indifference. It's strategy. Uncertainty becomes control. Silence is preparation. Observation is a weapon. The precise mind doesn't act until conditions are right. Decisions land perfectly. Errors become lessons. Failures become instructions. Machiavelli said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." Precision embodies this principle. Immediate, measured, decisive. Precision builds quiet authority. People trust those who move with purpose, never rush and act with confidence. Calm focus is invisible power. Nothing commands attention like a mind that moves only when necessary. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Precision is power. Emotional immunity is the silent armor of powerful minds. Most people crumble under their feelings, letting every insult, rejection, or disappointment control their state. They become predictable, provocable, manipulable. The moment emotion leads, judgment disappears. Machiavelli said, "The one who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived." Emotional people allow deception because they act on impulse, not intelligence. Emotional immunity isn't feeling nothing. It's staying steady while feelings burn beneath the surface. Composure under pressure, silence amid provocation, calm when others would break. A mind without emotional control is like a house without walls. Every wind rearranges it. Discipline builds invisible walls. Anger, envy, fear, doubt aren't enemies. They're signals revealing weak points that need reinforcement. Awareness is the first step. Notice emotion without surrendering to it. Transform reaction into understanding. Anger unacted upon teaches power dynamics. Fear processed logically builds mastery over instinct. Every moment of restraint strengthens inner stability. Machiavelli instructed rulers to appear compassionate but stay rational. A prince never lacks legitimate reasons to break his promise. Modern translation: never let emotion govern strategy. Those who remain centered when chaos erupts gain influence effortlessly. When provoked, the calm person mirrors instability back at the aggressor. Emotional immunity absorbs chaos without reflecting it outward. Manipulation fails because it feeds on reaction. Every insult, betrayal, or failure becomes data. Pain transforms into strategy. This discipline is not coldness. It's clarity fortified by composure. The more immune your mind, the less external turmoil affects you. Calmness is cultivated through repeated restraint. Each silent response becomes another brick in your fortress of self-command. Observation reveals motives and weaknesses. Energy spent reacting is energy stolen from progress. Emotional immunity is invisible dominance, appearing unaffected while quietly steering outcomes. Chaos becomes opportunity. Pain becomes precision. Stability creates mystery. Mystery breeds respect. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Calm never loses. Sharpness speaks a language the world understands without words. In a noisy, chaotic society, those who move with precision, restraint, and composure cannot be ignored. Many mistake respect for popularity, but true respect comes from silent authority, an aura of control that others sense before a single word is spoken. Machiavelli said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Today, that fear is psychological. It's the quiet tension people feel around someone who cannot be influenced, provoked, or manipulated. Sharpness radiates power without aggression. It communicates through presence, not speech. The sharp mind doesn't chase validation. It defines its own standards. Boundaries are set and others adjust, rise or retreat accordingly. Every action is deliberate. Every response calculated. Every silence intentional. People respect what they cannot predict. Hidden emotions and unreadable thoughts create caution and curiosity. Sharpness becomes dominance not through force, but through impeccable self-control. The calmer you are, the more magnetic your presence. This magnetism isn't charisma, it's mastery. The energy of someone who has tamed the chaos within. Machiavelli taught that appearances shape power as much as action. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. The sharp individual uses this principle. Movements are intentional. Expressions are measured. Nothing is explained or justified. The less revealed, the greater the impact. People respect restraint because it signals control. They respect silence because it suggests confidence. They respect calm because it demonstrates mastery over emotion. Sharpness is the art of timing, knowing when to act and when to remain still. In a distracted society, calm precision outshines loud ambition. The sharp don't interrupt to be heard. They wait, observe, and act when every word carries maximum weight. Patience builds authority. Others adjust their tone, lower their voice, and moderate behavior around that energy. Respect flows naturally. It is not demanded. It is earned through consistency, discipline, and focus. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Respect follows clarity. Mistakes are not failures. They are the fingerprints of progress. Every error, misstep, or regret is a coded message from reality, revealing what pride tried to hide. The weak flee mistakes, confusing pain with punishment. The strong dissect them, knowing pain is instruction. Machiavelli wrote, "The wise man does at once what a fool does at last." The difference is recognition, facing mistakes immediately, extracting their lesson, and turning it into strategy before it festers into weakness. The world punishes those who repeat errors, seeing them as unfit to lead themselves. Learning from mistakes isn't about guilt. It's about adaptation. Studying missteps creates a mind more dangerous than any who avoid risk. Failure sharpens judgment in ways comfort never can. Each wrong decision exposes a blind spot, showing how emotion, impulse, or ego clouded logic. The wise use these moments to restructure their mental architecture. They analyze patterns, ask why, and rewire behavior, so the same trap never ensnares them twice. Each scar becomes a strategic memory. Each disappointment a silent tutor. Machiavelli believed misfortune is a teacher. Fortune shows her power where valor has not prepared to resist her. Mistakes expose preparation gaps. When understood correctly, they guide anticipation. The self-aware predict danger before it arrives. Foresight becomes dominance, the ability to navigate life as an architect of outcomes, not a victim of chance. Mistakes lose power once transformed into lessons. Lessons build immunity. The dangerous part is humility. Accepting responsibility without resentment. Excuses maintain weakness. Accountability creates strength. Power grows where delusion dies. The ruler who cannot admit fault loses credibility. The man who denies error becomes predictable. True intelligence is self-correction in motion. Those who learn from mistakes evolve faster, converting pain into power instead of paralysis. Over time, adaptability makes them unbreakable, not because they never fail, but because they no longer fear failure. Machiavelli knew resilience is forged through self-education via adversity. The mistake itself is never the problem. The refusal to learn is. The mind that studies its own downfall controls its repetition. And that control is the essence of strength. The world thrives on noise. Endless opinions, shallow emotions, meaningless motion disguised as progress. But the sharpened mind moves in silence. It doesn't chase distractions. It removes them. It doesn't seek validation. It builds clarity. Every moment of focus becomes an act of dominance in a society addicted to chaos. Machiavelli wrote, "Men rise from one ambition to another. First they seek to secure themselves against attack, then they attack others. The sharpened mind follows the same path. First eliminate weakness, then gain control. Finally, command influence without words. True transformation begins when thoughts stop reacting and start anticipating, when emotion no longer dictates behavior, when focus becomes unbreakable, calm becomes armor, discipline becomes instinct. The mind transcends the ordinary. Those who master mental sharpness walk through life differently. They read between words, see through intentions and act with precision when others hesitate. They don't prove intelligence, their control speaks for them. They are the silent force behind power, the calm presence commanding respect. If this message ignited something inside, honor it not with words, but with action. Stay the course. Like this video, share it with someone ready to evolve, and subscribe to join a circle that sharpens minds into weapons of purpose. Every great transformation begins with awareness. You've taken the first step. Remember, a sharp mind cuts through everything. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. My mind is my greatest weapon.